Alright, well, once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Scientific Notation. We're going to talk, in Scientific Notation, we're going to talk about kind of calculator use. And I wish that I had an ability to show you the calculator that I'm using. We can certainly show it in class and go over specific calculators as well in class. But I'm going to kind of walk you through my calculator and kind of see what buttons to push to use scientific notation on a calculator. So again, scientific notation has to be in the form a times 10 to the nth power. So right down here, a times 10 to the nth power. And we're going to see that and what it looks like kind of in a calculator. So I'm going to see if I can fast forward here through a couple of different screens and go to the page that talks about using scientific notation. Alright, so this one, again, using your calculator to work with scientific notation. Like I said, each calculator is different. So you'll have to experiment with the following keys with keys, I guess, on your calculator. My calculator shows EE on my keyboard and also E on my display. So I'm going to show you actually, and I guess there's an entire page in the textbook, page 365, talks about scientific notation on a calculator. But here's what I'm going to do. We're going to talk about the specific example that we used before, 4 times 10 to the second power multiplied by 2 times 10 to the third power. And remember what we got for that? We got two different numbers. We got 800,000 and we got 8 point times 8.0, or 8 times 10 to the fifth power. Both of these are equivalent answers. This one is in scientific notation, this one is not. This is in standard form. So I'm going to show you what I would do to, okay, good. I'm going to show you what I would do to write down 4 times 10 to the second power. So in my calculator, 4 times 10 to the second power would be 4. And then the button that I have is, you've got to push the second button that is usually in one of the corners of your keyboard. And then the button that I have to push is, it's x to the negative 1 power, but above it, it says EE. So that second button gets me to the EE. So I've got 4 times 10 to the, and that already is 4 times 10 to the, and I have to push 2 to get 4 times 10 to the squared power, and all that in blue is what I've got here. And now I have to push times, so there's the times key, or the multiplication key. And now I have to go over here and write that number down. So really, again, you just push the 2, and then the same idea, the second key, and the x minus 1 key above it is the EE button, so that gets me there. And then I put in 3 because it's 10 to the third power, so this is 2 times 10 to the third power. And then I push my equals button, and the two displays that I get, well, I guess here's what I would get on my display. What would my calculator show? It would show me 4. You know what? Hang on a second. I'm going to go with blue here. This would show me 4 in my display, E2. And then it'd show me times, and then it would show me 2E3. And then on the next line down, because I have a 2-line calculator, it would show me 800,000, which is this number here. So that would show me, this is what I would put into my keyboard. This is what my display would show. This is what my display would show me as an equals. And there's my 800,000. But you know what? If I want to put that into scientific notation, this is not in scientific notation. Either I'd have to do it manually, or you can change that number there into scientific notation by telling the calculator to do it for you. How do you change that number into scientific notation? Again, for my calculator, and again, here's the calculator that I have. I have the TI-30X2S. It's about 15 bucks or so at Walmart, and it does a lot of things for you. It doesn't do the graphing stuff, but it does a lot of nice stuff for you. Anyway, for this calculator, these are the keystrokes that I have to put in. Your keystrokes might be a little bit different. To get from 800,000 into a scientific notation, what I have to do is I have to push, again, a second function I have to push second, and at the very top I have a DRG, and above the DRG is SCI/ENG. And that second button gets me to the scientific notation or engineering function. And what the display will show is, it'll show you FLO, SCIENG. FLO means it's a floating decimal, and that would give you this number here. Scientific notation would change that number into a scientific notation. So when you first push the second and then the DRG button, which gets you the scientific or engineering functions, it'll be underlined like that. And then you have to use your buttons. Again, my buttons look like this. There's a kind of a part of the keypad that looks like that. And you can kind of make your display go left to right, up or down. The left or right buttons makes you choose. These buttons here makes this thing go over to here. So choose that button. Make your underline move over to your scientific notation. Push enter or the equal sign. Actually, the equal sign is what you push. And then your display will come up with the scientific notation number for this. This comes down here and it becomes 8. And my display actually shows 8 times 10 to the 0.5, and the 10 is a little bit smaller. Sorry about that. It also, some displays might show it like 8EE05, but these would be equivalent. 8EE05, 8 times 10 to the 0.5, 800,000, they're all equivalent. They're all the same number. This is scientific notation, this is scientific notation, this is not scientific notation. So these would be the same equivalents on the calculator. Alright, any questions about your specific calculator, bring them to class, and hopefully, no, I'm not going to guarantee it, but hopefully we can get through it.